Welcome back to Cherry Pickin, presented by Owner's Box. Today we are doing must-draft centers, and we should give an update on the giveaway.
We should.
Currently, we're filming this on Friday, 230 likes. We are on pace to get to 300 likes. So you guys, if you haven't liked, go like the video, the
most recent mock draft.
Most recent mock draft. If we get to 300, we will announce a giveaway. Nice little giveaway for our viewers.
Yeah, a big giveaway.
Yeah. Today, Gianni joins the crew. Gianni, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Since the last time we spoke, I've been doing a lot of research on some Reddit boards, trying to find some good draft advice. I found a little thread from 2012. Talked about how my guy, Nail Yakupov, he's the next Ovechkin. Haven't seen him on any draft boards recently, but it's a big sleeper.
As an Oilers fan, it really hurts right here.
Worst draft pick potentially ever.
That draft was so horrible anyways. The next couple guys suck too, so whatever.
You got a third-round pick from the Blues for him.
Yeah, we did. I wonder who that was. I'm going to look after the show.
Yeah, do a little trade tree.
Yeah, a little trade tree.
All right, Drew, start us off. Who's your must-draft center?
So, yeah, must-draft centers today. My first guy, Sean Couturier of the Philadelphia Flyers. 45 games last year. He had 41 points, 120 shots on goal. His ADP, though, that's where this becomes must-draft. 144th overall. Are you kidding me? He should go in the 8th round, not the 13th round. And that's a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Point per game player, first line center, first power play, plays with Giroux on the first line. This is just an ADP smash. I cannot believe that drafters have continued to take him in the 12th and 13th round, let him slip that far. There's centers they're taking ahead of him that are nowhere close as good. I think that Sean Couturier is the most underrated player in the NHL. And he deserves to go
in the
a lot
NHL.
Higher. Yeah,
in fantasy or in the
fantasy and the NHL, and he deserves to go a lot higher.
Okay. Drew, you are making statements.
Yep.
Are you high on Philly this year?
I am very. We've stated before. I think it was the first mock draft. I'm very high on Philly, and he is the very center of that team.
So you don't usually swear, right?
Nope.
But I see something bolded on that piece of paper.
Someone on my paper here wrote underrated as fuck, and that someone was me. All right, Jamie, who do you got?
All right, I'm going with a guy who he might not be able to do a pull-up, but he sure can play hockey. But that's Sam Bennett, 109 ADP. He's a very popular sleeper pick for good reason. Drew, you're shaking your head. I don't know why you're shaking your head.
Because Sam Bennett's going 35 picks before Sean Couturier.
I think the haters are going to come at you.
Okay.
I think the haters are going to come at you again.
Okay.
Okay, so he goes from Calgary. Calgary did not really like using him. He goes to Florida. His minutes go from 13 to 18. So obviously they like this guy. He averaged 3 shots a game when he was playing with Florida. Look, 24 of his 27 points were even strength points last year. He's going to be playing on one of the most lethal power plays in the NHL. Well, stats-wise, they're not that lethal, but talent-wise, they are.
Yeah.
I think that this is just a no-brainer on paper. Everyone's picking him as a sleeper. His ADP is staying at 109. It's a very safe pick.
No, I feel like
this isn't.
I feel like the hype train is out of control, and that's why he's going so high. Is that everyone's picking him, and the hype train is driving the ADP up. I think it's a very solid pick, but I would like it a lot more if it was 160 to 170 ADP.
Well, the one thing with him too, I know on Yahoo, is he's a center left wing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've said this before, but having that position versatility. Those guys are Couturier only plays center.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you take Couturier, he's probably going to be your second best center on your team.
Maybe.
So you're probably going to look at that as if you take Bennett, you can play him more nights.
On left wing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just such a safe pick. They were talking about preseason, he's racking up shots, he's getting more comfortable. Obviously, he's he's got that little psycho-ness in him.
Okay, but yeah, he does. He is a little bit psycho. But how come he can be a safe pick if he's never scored 60 points in an NHL season?
It's a safe pick because of the other categories he contributes to.
That's fair. If you play in a category,
if he's going to be on that PP1, he's going to be racking in the ice time now, and he's going to be getting lots of shots. So I think even if he doesn't, he's just bound to. He was a point a game when he went to Florida.
Yeah,
he's 15-10. So I'm not saying that's going to keep up, but I'm saying that I think it's a safe pick because he's going to contribute to all categories.
I hear that. Yeah, categories leagues, I say he's pretty similar to Couturier. Points leagues, I'd probably keep Couturier ahead of him for sure. Okay. That's my opinion, though.
I got someone the bit of the opposite direction of Bennett. So Bennett's a guy who hasn't been great. New situation. He's kind of looking better. I'm looking at Tyler Seguin. He had a really bad year last year. He was injured a lot. Right now, he's going at an ADP of 74.9, which is just about the 6th or 7th round. I just see this as a guy who could easily be your top center, could easily get, pushing 40 goals, pushing point per game, big volume shooter. He's usually in the top 10 for shots per game. Just, he's going to be playing on that top line. He's going to have a good plus minus if you use that. He's just so well-rounded to me.
Yep.
And I think people are just low on him because last year he was injured. He came back. He played like one game, so there might be that fear of, is he going to come back and be the same player?
I think he will be.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeremy?
I think he loses a little bit of that. Like I don't think he comes back and it's the same situation that what he came into, right?
Yeah, Hintz seems to have passed him on the depth chart, but maybe that's just because of injury. We don't really know.
But you also have like the younger crew is sort of coming in now. It's the same thing with sort of Heiskanen and that Klingberg combo. Like who's more valuable there? Klingberg, I'm guessing, because he's on PP1,
Yeah,
right?
Klingberg because he's not a better player, but he's a better fantasy player.
From that perspective, then it's all Tyler Seguin is the priority, right? Because he's the older guy.
I'd still
He's got the
rather
respect.
I'd rather draft Hintz over Seguin still this year.
I think Hintz, though, is going at a higher ADP right
Yes.
now. So, like, for example, what was Bennett's ADP?
109.
109, where if you're looking at 109 on Sam Bennett, you go, you know what? I'm using an 8th, 9th round pick on him. That's really good to get a guy like that.
Yep.
Where a guy like Seguin, if you can get him in the 6th, 7th round as your second center, he also plays the right wing on Yahoo. Then you're just looking at a guy that's insane value. You're seeing guys ahead of him who don't have nearly as close of a ceiling.
I think, the right wing position is pretty thin.
Yeah, the right wing eligibility for Seguin is a big deal.
Yeah, that is huge.
I think before this season, he was a top 20 player every year for fantasy drafts, right?
Yeah.
One injury missed season, and we're dropping him all the way down to like 75 overall. I don't love it.
Yeah, it's insane.
Could be a huge steal. I don't think there's that much risk. I think there's more risk with maybe Stamkos.
Yeah. No, I agree. Stamkos is going really high. Stamkos is going
Still
in the third round, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'd rather pick Gianni's guy there.
Yeah, if he plays all year,
six, seven.
could be 85 points again for Seguin.
Yeah.
Like that pick.
Okay. Drew, who do you got?
Get into my second guy. So my second guy here, Vincent Trocheck, center for the Carolina Hurricanes, ADP 153. Last year, 43 points in 47 games, and he had 123 shots, so contributes there as well. This is just like Couturier for me. This is a guy that I think should go in the 8th, 9th round. That's going in the 13th round. Wildly undervalued. He plays power play 1. He plays on the second line with Teravainen and Niederreiter. But the thing is, he's locked into the top 6. Teravainen and Niederreiter. He's locked into the top 6. And they do rotate that top 6 a lot. So there will be games he plays with Aho. There'll be games he plays with Teravainen, and there'll be games he plays with Niederreiter. There'll be games he plays with Svechnikov, right? And he plays on the first power play with them. He's 90th percentile in the NHL at driving 5-on-5 offense. And 5-on-5 offense is what matters the most. If a guy's of the guys that are all on power play, you want the guys that are also good at getting points 5-on-5, right? So I like to look at that stat to see who can I count on contributing, even if he misses a few games on the first power play. So at 153, Trocheck, a smash at that ADP, a must draft. And it shows that with Couturier and Trocheck going in the 13th round, you can wait on center. It's the most saturated position. It's a position you can wait on. And then if I got these two as my first 2 centers, I wouldn't even mind.
What's your thought on Kotkaniemi potentially taking that ice time?
They have him on left wing on the 3rd line right now. So I don't think he'd ever pass Trocheck to be second line center.
I don't know if I trust anything that's coming out right now from those Carolina lines. I don't know if I trust anything. I just don't know. Carolina, that situation there, they get, obviously what Gianni said. I don't know. I don't know if I trust anyone drafting any Carolina Hurricane, but his ADP is super late.
Him and Teravainen have the latest ADP of the top 6, so they're definitely the 2 I'm looking at the most.
Yeah, that was the first time Drew has pronounced that name correctly.
43 points in 47 games and going that late, he's shown he's a good center. He's shown he's a reliable center for fantasy. Just makes zero sense.
He seems like one of those guys who's like a really good 3rd center for your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It just seems wild to me.
Okay. I am going with a guy that I really like, and that's Christian Dvorak. 165 ADP. He's going super late. he took a big jump last year with Arizona, had the best year of his career, 17 goals, 14 assists. His shooting percentage was up to 17. That's a little worrisome. I think that we see potentially some regression. But I think that this is another guy where I think the opportunity of playing on a new team plays a huge factor here.
Yep.
He's going to be playing for Montreal, which I'm not even worried that he's playing on the second line because the way that Montreal rolls things, they sort of run that 3-line system there pretty evenly. His time on ice was way up last year compared to years prior. It was 18 minutes last year, which is pretty good. Like if we see that again this year with Montreal, maybe 18 to 20, the GM has already spoken out that he is huge. He's bullish on this. They give it a first and second for Christian Dvorak, and like you don't just throw away second round picks.
No.
25-year-old player. I think they saw something in him, and they are going to play him a lot this year. Mm-hmm. He's going super late. I'm taking a risk on him. Like Gianni said, I'm probably picking him as my third or fourth center. But I do think that he will be a guy that I draft in almost every draft.
This feels a lot like Max Domi, guy that gets drafted to Arizona. Kind of seems like he's a bust. Gets traded to Montreal. Maybe he has a breakout season. We also saw Tyler Toffoli have a breakout season in Montreal. We saw Josh Anderson have a breakout season in Montreal. Seems like the breakout city in the NHL.
Pretty sure all of them played for the London Knights too.
I'm
pretty sure Josh Anderson, Domi, and Dvorak all did.
Yeah, not Toffoli though.
Not Toffoli.
That's what I was just thinking about. Yeah, the other three did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good London Knight
Knights.
products. But yeah.
So yeah, I really like that pick. ADP's what again? Like
165.
165.
Last draft we did, like he didn't get drafted. So I feel like he's going undrafted in probably 50% of leagues.
A big deal here is he gets that first power play or not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he works himself in there. I still think that Caulfield, there's a chance that Caulfield just isn't as productive this year.
I thought you were gonna say not on the power play.
No. I said he's gonna be on the power play, but there's a chance that he's just right.
I think 35 goals.
I wouldn't be surprised too if he's
Jeez.
sheltered. Like they just say, you know what, we'll let you feast on the power play, but you're getting 10 minutes 5-on-5 a game.
He's not bad 5-on-5 though. He's
Who?
not bad
Caulfield?
defensively. Yeah, Caulfield.
35 goals, Drew. That's a lot.
Yeah. I could say
You know his production even last year when he played. Like if you actually look at his point totals, they weren't crazy.
I'd say over 30 is a safe bet. Over 35 is a bit bullish, but
I still think it's pretty wild to say that for a guy who's played.
I bet you he scores more than 30 goals this year.
Okay, we'll make that bet.
Okay.
We'll make that bet. Gianni,
All
what do
right.
you got?
So my last pick might be controversial. Might be one of the worst picks I've ever made. Taking
Worse
John.
than-
Sorry?
Worse than Pasternak is must avoid.
No, that was an excellent pick. So I'm taking Jonathan Toews, 164.7 ADP. That's the 15th round. He's like Dvorak. He's going undrafted most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like Seguin, he was injured last year. He didn't play the entire year. He had a little bit of sickness. Didn't play. He's coming back. I hate to use the most overused term, but he's in the best shape of his life, is what they're saying about him. I think Chicago last year, you saw really early.
Holy.
What? You don't like that?
When people say that for fantasy, it always
thing-
blows my
Everybody
mind.
says
The
that.
thing
all
is,
the time.
right, like, to put it in perspective, 2 weeks ago, I said I was in the best shape of my life. Right? And then this week, I said that I'm in the worst shape of my life. So
Yeah, you
things
went off the chicken and
change
rice
fast.
diet.
Yeah. Things change fast.
You got to get back
okay?
on the chicken and rice.
They could change, but no, if you're not Jonathan Toews.
I know I'm
You
not Jonathan
don't
Toews.
have a lake named
I
after
play
you
men's
in
league.
Manitoba.
Yeah.
Gianni. When he was healthy and in the prime of his career,
Yeah.
he was like a 60-point guy
He scored 80. He scored 82 points
in one season.
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
3 years ago. 3 years ago. The
3 years
last
ago.
full season, he's won point per game.
Okay.
And that's because every other year, they had so many other guys. They ran the offense through them. And then they said, Toews, you're going to play defense for us. You're going to comfortably get 60 to 70 points.
Yes.
And that's it. And he said, sure thing, boss man. We're going to win 3 cups.
Is that Quenneville, boss man?
Yeah, Quenneville's the boss man. Quenneville's gone now.
Yeah.
Jeremy
he did have that
Colleton.
good revival season a couple years ago. That is
Yeah.
true.
So the way I'm looking at it is last year they started off really well.
Okay.
Then they were a tire fire at the end of the year.
Okay.
This year they're coming in. They're saying, we got Toews, we got Kane. We're bringing in Seth Jones. We're going to bring in some guys. We're going to take one last kick of the can. And what happens when you take one last kick of the can? You're giving Toews and Kane the ice time together. You're going to let Kirby Dack go on the third line. You're going to let him
Whoa.
get used to it.
We did see that Tyler Johnson was listed as the first line center. and Toews was listed as the third line center
For now.
for now. We'll see where that.
If you want to talk
develops.
about value plays at the end of your draft.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I
I'm
think
not
that
saying you're going to go in the first round and take
it's a
Jonathan
bold take.
Toews.
It's a
It is a
bold
bold take.
It's a lot more bold than Couturier and Trocheck, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And bold wins leagues.
Yeah, bold does win leagues.
Devin would love this pick. He's been talking all about Toews.
Yeah.
He's a
Toews-
He's a
Toews
Toews
is-
lover.
He's a farm boy.
Yeah,
he's a fun
he
boy.
is very gritty.
Mm-hmm.
Manitoba guy, just like Jared.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All
that's our
right.
6 must draft centers. Make sure you
Thank you
comment
for
below
listening.
who you're drafting in your leagues. Make sure you let us know if you're tailing us, and chirp Drew if you want.
Yeah,
Right?
and also
He really appreciates that.
join the Discord. We chat fantasy hockey in there, and download Owner's Box and play some fantasy football right now.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week.